Hey, what's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to answer a question that I've been asked a couple times now, and that is, how do I respond to people who ask my opinion about them becoming cops? They ask me, how do you feel about me becoming a cop? What are your thoughts on it? And this happened to me actually twice in life with people very close to me. One was a family member many years ago, and another is a young kid who I mentor and have been mentoring for the last couple of years. And my answer is basically the same to both. First, if you could make money doing anything else other than that, take that option. And second, why the fuck would you want to go into a profession where the majority of people dislike you, distrust you? Many of them despise you and fucking hate you just for who you are, just for wearing that fucking uniform. Why would you want to go into a position where you making your money counts on you destroying people's lives? You putting people in fucking chains and fucking cages, or hiding behind fucking bushes in speed traps and pulling people over and causing them fucking grief and aggravation by giving them fucking motor vehicle summonses or seatbelt tickets. Think about that. People hate cops for a reason, because they annoy the fuck out of people. I understand it's not all of them. There's a good element to every group of people in society. So if you want to really protect people and do that shit, you don't need to be a cop to do that. I do that shit now, and I'm not a cop. And that brings me to another reason why, even to those people who say, I do have the right intentions, I just want to serve and protect. To them, you know what I tell them? The problem with that is you becoming a cop, you are going to be influenced by the other fucking cops. And eventually, you're going to pick up a lot of that negative shit, the reasons why people hate them. You're going to become just like them. It's the same shit with people who've asked me about becoming COs. I've seen so many fucking corrections officers come in brand new, saying the same shit, that I'm not going to mistreat anybody. I'm not like them. I don't have any hatred towards anybody. I'm not racist. And wait a couple years and see what happens. In a couple years, they're the ones putting the masks on, taking their badges off, and stomping the shit out of people. Why? Because you become who you surround yourself with. You become that. And I've said this before in other videos as well. When it comes to this whole defending of cops, that there are, they're not all bad. There are good cops out there. My answer to you is very fucking simple. There can be no such thing as a good cop who allows or is aware of a bad cop. If I'm a good cop and I see another cop abusing people, breaking the law, mistreating anyone, doing anything corrupt, stealing drugs, anything, shaking people down, if I am a good cop or a good person, I cannot allow that. I cannot be on this motherfucker's side and be a good person or a good cop. So my answer to that good cop shit is, you're not a fucking good cop if you allow the rest of the piece of shits to hide behind that blue wall of silence where nobody rats on each other. You're not a fucking good cop. I don't give a fuck what you do, how many lives you saved. If you're aware of even one bad cop, you yourself are not a good cop. Do something about it. Do something about that piece of shit cop who makes everyone hate police. Then you'll be a good cop. So my answer to anyone is to never become that. Don't become that. Nobody likes these people. You're not fucking saving people's lives for the most part. The majority of the actual work of a police officer is harassing people, being a pain in the ass to people, pulling people over, writing people tickets, fucking just nonsense. You're just a nuisance. You're a thorn in the side of society. Sometimes they do help people. Sometimes they save people. But you know what? People like me, I don't need your fucking help. I don't need no fucking cop to come save me. And I'm of the mindset that the biggest mistake you can make oftentimes is calling cops for help. Because you call them for help and they end up fucking making things way worse. They end up shooting your fucking dog or killing one of your family members because they're not trained well enough to deal with situations, or because they're so trigger happy, or because they're such fucking cowards and pussies and have so much fear in them that they cannot control themselves. And they abuse power and they feel nothing about it. You ever see these police shootings after one of these cops shoots somebody? They're all gathering. None of them give a fuck about the guy that is on the ground bleeding. He's fucking bleeding, begging for help. They're still handcuffing him and leaving him on his stomach. They don't give a fuck about him. They're asking the officer if he's okay. The guy who just did the shooting. Oh, are you okay? Everything all right? You need to go to the hospital? They don't give a fuck about this person on the ground. They've become so cold-hearted that murder is nothing to them. Beating people is nothing to them. Putting people in cages is nothing to them. So the answer to that question is, me personally, I will never be a fucking cop. I will never take on a position in life of which people will hate me, or where I'm ruining people's day just by existing. That cop who's fucking pulling somebody over for going 5 miles an hour over the speed limit, you think you're a fucking hero? You're just a fucking pain in the ass. You just ruined that person's day. You don't know how hard these people are working to pay these fucking $200 tickets and $100 court fees every time your dumbass writes a ticket to reach your monthly quota that you have to write. There's no fucking honor in being a cop. I have nothing against helping people. I help people all the time. I don't need no fucking badge and no fucking gun and no bitch ass blue uniform in order to do so. So that's my answer to anyone who cares about how I feel about them being a cop. There are much, much better ways to make your living. Much more honorable ways to make your living. And lastly, don't do this to your kids. Don't become a cop if you plan on having a family or already have children. Because the other kids in the school will fucking make fun of your child for being the son or daughter of a cop. Because, again, the majority of people, we don't fucking like you. Alright? Now, I know there's a lot of law enforcement that are watching this. You always do. I know you don't like this shit. And you know I don't give a fuck that you don't like it. Say what you gotta say. But everything that I've said here right now today is absolute truth. I dare one of you to say that you're a fucking good cop and still allow for these bad cops to exist. You're a fucking contradiction. There's no such thing as a good cop as long as that is happening. So find a better job is the answer. Do something that carries with it honor and respect that the community will look up to, that people will appreciate. Not walking around with a gun and keeping people in fear. More people are afraid of cops than they are thinking them helpful. Keep that in mind. So I hope this answered the question, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks.